Hello, my name is Chris A. Hughes. I'm the co-founder of A Nerd's World, and this evening I'm talking on the Orange Mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? Once again, this is Conversations on the Orange Mic. And as I've always told you, we will have conversations that are informative, provocative, and even hilarious. And sometimes we're not going to be in studio like today. And I'm so happy about that because the Orange Mic can go anywhere, as you can see. So today, our special guest, man, I am so honored today to share this gentleman to you, everything that he's about, his business, his passions, and everything that he's done based on experiencing the world and many other things than that. This gentleman is going to inspire you in many ways, as he's inspired myself. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to meet and find out all about Chris from A Nerd's World. How you doing, sir?
Wonderful.
Yes,
you built me
man.
up. Now I have to. I got to deliver.
That's man. Sometimes some people like to get under celebration, whatever their intro, so they can over deliver.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But it's all good, man. Well deserved. You are such an inspiration to me.
I appreciate that.
I'm so glad to have you, man. So glad to have you on the show. Well, first of all, let's get right into it. Let's let the people know who you are and what is A Nerd's World and all about what A Nerd's World represents.
Sure. My name is Chris.
Yes.
I would put, if you were to give me a title, I would say entrepreneur.
All right.
Currently, and for the last 15 plus years, I've dedicated all my time into A Nerd's World.
Yes.
A Nerd's World is sort of the one-stop shop for anybody that's looking for a website or SEO and sort of everything that is encompassed within building an online presence.
Yes.
So, I mean, it started out my wife and I from our little bedroom apartment, hustling websites 15 years ago to something that's gotten considerably bigger.
Yes.
Where it's not just the two of us. We have almost 30 in-house people, experts.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where we sit right now in 2021.
I love it, man. I am so honored, because what you all don't know is that way back in, I guess, 2017 was when the Orange Mic kind of officially started initially. And then, we took a little hiatus a little bit to kind of regroup and then came back now. But as we started and when we started, we were actually in your location on Queen Street and Spadina area. It was the greatest location. It still is, of course. And you have, of course, new additions upstairs. But this location was such a beautiful. You'll actually see it in the intro. If you see us sitting and there's all these TVs behind us,
Yeah.
that is A Nerd's World. That is the location at Queen Street and Spadina in Toronto. And that location totally helped, embody the vision of what I would like the show to look like and everything you were doing and still doing to this day and the great work you're doing and people you work with. That's what helped us get started. So again, this is why I say he's such an inspiration to me. And that's just one aspect, there's so much more things that you do. And I'm so grateful for you and all that you've done, man. So how many locations do you have?
Well, right now, due to what's currently happening, we're working from home.
Okay.
As the government has locked us down.
Yeah, well, we always don't like to talk about that nonsense.
But that's what we've been going through for the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the world has changed. And, I mean, part of entrepreneurship is pivoting. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Making changes. So
Yep.
we went from having 4 retail stores a
Yeah.
year ago today to currently working
Yeah.
from our kitchen table, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that just comes to me. Like, I don't know how to put. I'm excited by problems. It might sound bad. It's
No,
not like
I
I'm
get it.
wishing for problems,
get it.
but I mean, with entrepreneurship, like the last job I had was maybe 22 years ago,
Yeah.
like where somebody gave me a paycheck,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, the current situation doesn't entail where the future will bring. So when
Yeah.
this sort of dissipates, maybe we'll open 22 locations, right?
Of course.
I mean, for the time being, right now, we're just focused on building the online presence,
Yeah.
and making sure the current clients are as happy as can be.
I like that. And so back to what you're saying about, certain problems or situations. A lot of people look at problems and they immediately
Yeah.
go into like, panic, and they cannot function or do anything. But I like that word you said, pivot. And that goes perfectly in my world of sports and stuff and basketball. If you don't know how to pivot properly, you're going to get yourself double teamed, trapped and stuff. You can create space when you don't know how to pivot properly.
Hugely important, and I
Yeah.
think that's what makes an exceptional entrepreneur. Because a lot of people are really really good at like building something when everything's going smoothly for them. But the moment you throw in a few roadblocks or hurdles, that they have to, this is like, what do I
What do you
I
do?
do? What do I give up? Do I
Yeah.
right? I mean, entrepreneurship to me, once again, that's the fun. Don't get me wrong. I like it to
I
be
get it.
smooth. I enjoy smooth
But-
road, right? But if we're gonna hit a few bumpy patches, I get excited just to be able to be like, let's flip this around.
Yep.
And because a lot of people ask me, like, because I've been doing this so long, like, Chris, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I never, like, now I'm 42 years old. I don't look at 5 years from now. I'm like, what do we got to get done this week in order to better the business? And then next week, we'll talk about next week, right?
Yep.
So that's sort of where I sit right now.
Because that next week brings upon new problems or new situations that you have to like, fix.
Experiences, we'll call it.
That's a
Yeah.
good word. That's a great word. I like that.
I don't, to me, there's no problem that you can't get past, right? So, I mean, it's learning
I
along
like
the
that.
way.
That's a good word, eh? Experiences. If you change the way you say certain things, it's the mindset about a lot of stuff. I like that. I'm going to adapt that. I like that. Because, I always like to say, we like to work on the solutions. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
There may be issues or obstacles in front of you, but let's talk about the solutions, because they're only obstacles because you haven't dealt with the solutions and then overcome them. So I like that word, but they're just experiences.
Yeah,
that you're
but
gonna
I
go
mean,
through.
the whole concept of having, like, a problem to me could be I'm not getting enough traffic to my website, right? I can still be wildly successful and
Yeah.
profitable. But the way my mindset works is if I got 10,000 people to my website last week, my problem is I want to get more. So, I mean, a problem to me doesn't always necessarily mean that you're failing, or that it's something really bad is happening.
Yeah.
It's like last year I made X amount of money. This year I want to make more.
Why
My
not?
problem is I want to make more money. So the solution is going to entail coming up with a way to make more money, right? So I mean, problems to me are not bad. Like I'm a strong believer in, if it doesn't kill you, it is not going to do nothing bad to you, right? I
And
mean,
it
it could
can
always
make
be
you stronger.
worse, right? It can always be worse.
That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. We have to look at that,
Yep.
because my mom and dad will always tell me there's certain things that you're going through, but you always look at as somebody else and many other people going through way worse than what you think is a problem in your life.
I'm going to tell you something. Like, part of my weekly routine is watching. I'm a documentary fanatic.
Okay.
I don't really watch movies for entertainment unless it's like something I can somewhat learn.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always mean I'm going to use it in my day to day. But I watch. It might sound like bad, but I mean, I watch documentaries of people dying of terminal diseases at least once a week.
Okay.
To bring me to reality.
Okay.
Right? And I've done this for the last 10 years. Not everyone understands this,
Yeah.
but there's some wonderful documentary makers where they'll like showcase somebody's last month of their life.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's that and plus experiencing real life that I've always just been a strong believer of, like, we're here once.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's have fun. And let's not overly concern ourselves with the little shit the
it's all
little
good.
stuff that
It's
at
okay.
the end of our life didn't mean anything to it
Yes.
doesn't affect us, right?
Yes.
So, like, if it didn't kill us, let's go stronger. Let's
Yeah.
talk about more happy stuff. We're not talking
Yeah.
about death, but I mean,
I get it though.
it's a weird thing. I don't tell people this. Even my children, I'm like, I'm an emotional guy. So I'll sit around the TV crying about a complete stranger. But once again, it holds me down to the reality that at any point in any time, real things could happen in our life. So if I have a bad week at work where a customer's yelling at me or my sales are not at the point that I wish they were at, I'm like, I'm still eating. Yeah. My family's still together. Who cares I had a bad week? Yeah. Nobody cares, right? I don't want to add no negativity to someone else's life. So I'm going to come home with a smile. I'm going to enjoy my day. And I'm going to learn from the experience. Right?
I like that. Like, again,
but this is not just talk. This is like dead serious. You'll never meet me angry ever.
I haven't seen you angry.
Yeah, I'm a happy man.
And I love that. Yeah. Again, what makes me drawn to your passion, what you do, and all that you're about. That's part of that great positive energy, and I love that. Right. So, and again, you just explained how you can take certain things and how you can funnel it.
And even the aura, though. Like, I believe if you're like, you sit down and you're mad, that stuff is contagious. Like, I'm going to bring that home to my kids, my wife. I don't want you to get that negative energy from me. So I just believe, like, be happy. Be grateful. Even with nothing, be grateful.
That's true.
Enjoy
Grateful
life,
heart.
for sure.
Yeah, because you can really do without a lot.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And some people just feel like they just have to have everything or they need everything. Like, no, you can be content. You know what I mean? And learn how to find some happiness in that.
But I mean, just rub off in a right way. Like, just bring some happy energy to other people.
True.
You can change their life in both ways. You're negative. You're angry. You ever? When I drive on the street and somebody honks at me. First of all, I've never honked at anybody in my life. You can cut me off. I'll be like, it's okay. I'm alive, right? But when I see that person like angry, they could have a nice car, and I'm like, that negativity. They don't realize they're rubbing that off on the other cars driving by. Like, what? Stop honking, right?
Road rage.
Just bring positivity to life and everybody that you meet, even driving down the street, right?
Yeah.
It could change somebody's day.
Yes, it can.
So I'm a strong believer in just positive energy.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So tell us about the positive energy that, cause we were talking earlier on how you're being able to do some things and experience things across the world. How would you say those experiences, traveling, seeing different countries, seeing different people and cultures, how has those experiences shown you positive and even not so positive, experiences to make you see things differently?
Like, even when I was young, I would love to travel. Mm-hmm. So I was a guy like at 18, 19 years old that had a job in a warehouse that would save up for months in order to jump on a plane and go somewhere else.
Good.
I was always that guy that didn't want to sit still, right? And most of the time I couldn't find people that would want to do it with me. So I've been a solo traveler for most of my life, right? Now I've hit the point, 3 months ago, my 100th country. Oh, so I went to Brazil. Wow. That was my 100th country. I have 97 more countries, but now I've hit a hurdle because COVID has restricted travel. But I mean, the ultimate goal is to hit every single country in the world in my lifetime, right? And to answer your question, like, what do you learn? Like, people are wonderful.
Yes.
Everywhere in the world.
Yes.
I've never had a problem in any country in the world. I walk freely. Like, everywhere people tell you don't go, that's where I go, right? I'm not flamboyant. I don't wear jewelry when I go. If I'm going to some bad neighborhood, not bad, but I mean a reputation of poverty and gang violence, I'm not going to be overly flamboyant because why would you want to show off with people that have nothing, right?
Yeah,
but
that's tough.
Like, what do I learn?
You can't do
my
that.
best memories in life other than my wife and my children, it's like walking through a new neighborhood and like talking to strangers where we don't really speak the same language, but we can communicate through just aura and stuff. Like, the experiences are endless, right? Like, after 100 countries, you've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. And because I travel alone, I get to sort of navigate through these countries at my own pace, and I only buy one-way tickets. So it's like, if I'm having great enjoyment out of a country,
stay longer.
I don't have to go.
You can stay longer.
I can stay. And because I don't have a friend saying like, hey, let's go hit the beach. I'm not a beach guy. Man, I want to go to the museums. I want to learn culture. I want to go eat a real meal at a real person's table that I met that day. So like, I wake up with a goal and I'll be like, my goal today is to get a traditional Ethiopian meal And I don't know where I'm going to get that meal, but I'm going to meet some people on the street, and I'm going to sort of get my way into their house, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, those kind of little interactions are incredible. I have friends that I've met around the world that like are genuine friends.
Yeah.
That, as sad as it could sound, they feel more genuine than my friends in Toronto.
I believe
you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in Egypt for my birthday last October.
Okay.
And the guy found out it was my birthday from Facebook. I've known him for 3 years. And he's like, Chris, come over. And I'm like, I didn't know what was planned, but he was sort of acting a little bit strange. So when I went in there, he went and got balloons.
What?
Home cooked meal. Like, all the Egyptian people that I've met over the last 3 years were all there to celebrate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, in Toronto, my friends don't even call me on my birthday. It gets me emotional once again. Because you know what? They didn't look for nothing. They didn't ask me for, like, give me money. When I give them, like, let me pay for the food, they're like, don't insult me. Ooh. This is your birthday. We didn't invite you to get this. So, I mean, those type of memories for me are just the most incredible.
That's priceless.
It has me yearning for more, because every country, there's like 100 memories I know I'm about to get. So the anticipation of going to a new country or even seeing old friends. Yeah. And that's my motivation. Yeah. Like, the reason I work hard, and like, I think in entrepreneurship and in business and in life, everybody should have goals, right? My goal has always been, first, to travel and see the world. Nice. Second, to make sure that the people I meet along the way, I help them. Nice. Do you get what I'm saying? Beautiful. Like, and help doesn't always mean like money. The simple thing like money. Yeah. Right? Although money does have a lot to do with it. Yeah. But the way I interact, like, I'm going long-winded, but like when I was in Brazil in December, right? I'm in one of the worst favelas. And, you know, murder is rampant, and theft and robbery, and there's no tourists. And one of the guys I met, I asked him, like, can you introduce me to somebody that needs help? That's nice. And he's saying through the translator, like, we're in a favela. Everybody needs help. But I'm like, I know I can't help everyone. Yeah. He's like, this young boy, his name's Hugo. He has cancer. And he's going through treatment, and I would like you to meet him. So I knew it was going to be emotional for me. But I'm like, yeah, I need to meet this boy. So I go into the little house. Hugo's there with his wife. Hugo, his father, and the wife. Yeah. And they're such humble people, and they're sitting with me, a complete stranger. Yeah. I didn't go in telling them I'm going to help them. Yeah. I just wanted to go in, but they welcomed me. They cooked me dinner. Wow. And through my translator, you know, he just broke down to me as a father. He's like, look, COVID, I worked at a hotel. Hotel's closed. I have no work. My wife worked at the hotel. No work. We have a child, and although cancer treatment is free, we got to go to this place, which is an hour and a half away by bus. Oh, man. And because he has cancer, the traveling back and forth. And so I'm like, it's weird, because you don't want to ask a stranger questions, but like, as a father, and he's like, this is the most difficult thing in the world. Knowing that your son needs a taxi straight to the hospital, and you cannot afford it. Right? And he says, look outside the window, there's gunshots every night here, and like, we feel like we're trapped in the house. Of course, emotionally, it just beat me up inside. I have kids, right, that I couldn't ever think about this. So the better part of the story is this, you know, last month, I bought him a car. Oh, I bought the family a car, right?
Look at that. So that's amazing.
The fun part is that to meet somebody, to genuinely feel like something pulled me to get there.
I get that.
And, you know, she sent me a video of her in her first car. So, like, in showing, like, they're getting to treatment. So, I mean, what motivates me in life? This. That's, you know, because I can have all the money in the world. Man. And you know what? Money brings me happiness. Yeah. Because I can help so many people. Yeah. And without money, I could still have enjoyment, but I wouldn't be able to help them to the level that they need. Wow. And I know I can't change the world, right? But I know that if there's 20 families that rely on me, that can call me any minute of any day around the world and say, Chris, I need food. I'm like, no problem. You're never going to go hungry, right? And through entrepreneurship and traveling and meeting these people, as maybe selfish as it sounds, if I didn't have money and success, I wouldn't have met that boy.
Of course.
And that's
the blessing.
Changed. So, I mean, life changes. Yeah. Good and bad, but through hard work, it enables me the opportunity to do some good, right?
I like that, because if you didn't make that choice years ago to decide to take that route of being that exceptional entrepreneur, and to be able to work hard to achieve greatness, and the financial greatness that you're able to have, it's great. That's a blessing that you're able to now to
but
turn
having
around.
having a goal, right?
To start.
And your goal, your why could be whatever your why is. Buy your mom a house, retire your father, pay you some debts. Like your why doesn't have to be to change the world. Because I actually get negative comments sometimes, like, Chris, you're not really helping. But I mean, you got to ignore all of this,
of course,
and realize, like, create a why. Like, why do you want to succeed? In entrepreneurship and in life. And that's sort of the motivation, or the kick in the bum, in order to move forward, because you want to, at some point, hit your why, reach your why. Right?
Of course, that's so beautiful, man. That's a blessing, man. I again, see, this is what I'm talking about. The positive, energy and all that aura. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I told you it was an inspiration. I told you. See
I appreciate that.
That's beautiful. And then the humbleness. See, that's another. We all have to learn how to be humble. Like, there's some people would say, "Oh, well, I've done it too. I have some money. I've helped some people." Okay, well, then the way you're saying it, that tells me that you didn't do it with a pure heart. You didn't do it with the concept that you're going to really just help them, and no cameras, no posting, nothing. I'm just doing it because it's in my heart. And you want recognition, but that's not the way to do it, right? And I like that. That's part of you.
It's actually a tough position to be in, because I don't want to tell people I'm doing good, but I also want to somewhat tell them, maybe to encourage them to do something good. And it's a weird, you're never going to please everyone, right? I'm not doing it. I don't make any money for posting or telling you this story. I'm doing it from the bottom of my heart. But maybe one person that watches it. Man, I'm just such a strong believer that we're all equal. It wasn't too long ago, I was homeless, like living on the street and begging friends. So I always told myself, like, if I make money, I'm giving it back. You know what I mean? Like, 2 days ago, I brought my son out, which is 13. 15. I'm horrible. Numbers are all wrong. He's 15, and we drove on the street. And my goal was to give away money to homeless people on the street.
Oh, yes.
But not just to give it away. I have my son there, and I stop and I talk to the homeless people.
Beautiful.
And I say, look, this is my son. He's 15. If you have anything that you can teach him, and when I talk to people, I talk to them with respect.
Of course.
Right? I don't care if you're dirty or homeless, you're unemployed. We're all the same, and that's everywhere in the world. The biggest thing is treat people with respect and understand that every one of us can learn from somebody. If you don't think you can learn from a homeless man, you're missing a lot, because the experiences they've gone through can help you with your life. And you can help them. You know what I mean? More important than money is treating people as human beings. And that 5 minutes or 10-minute conversation with a homeless man changed their day.
Wow.
It enlightens their day. You know what I mean? Because if I walk down the street in Toronto anywhere, homeless people come running to me. Chris, they know me by first name. I shake their hand. I'm not scared of them.
Of course.
I don't look down on them. Whatever it is.
They're human.
There's been times in my office where there's the same homeless people outside. I say, come inside, have a shower in my office. We're equal. You're in a bad place right now. Doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No.
Learn from it, and we know you're going to get better, right? So, I mean, that's what life is all about. Life is more than entrepreneurship. Life is more than building a successful business. But when you do those things, it allows you opportunities that you wouldn't financially have if you didn't do those things.
That's
do you get what I mean?
Beautiful. It costs nothing just to be nice too, right?
You could be broke and be nice.
There you go.
Just smiling at somebody as you walk down the street is, and not everyone's going to give you that reciprocal, like they're not going to all give it back, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Smile and wave, and even that person behind the counter at, McDonald's. How's your day going? Is everything good? Like that little extra added, man, it can just make the world a little bit better of a place, right?
Because some people they don't really want to be there.
Right.
Not everybody, right?
No. And you don't know what they're going through in their life at all.
Exactly. Everyone has their own situation that they're going through. Some have a plan. It's like, I'm going to be here for the next year, and I'm going to save up. I'm going to do something else. Some just want to do. That's it. That's their ceiling, and that's it. Hey, that's their choice.
Okay with that, right?
That's fine, right? But people just need to realize that there's a story that happened and is happening now and what's about to happen in somebody's life.
Right.
So when you were talking about being able to see anyone that is considered as homeless or less fortunate, whatever, and most people will look down at them and just, ugh, and walk away or run away and treat them with total disrespect. But if you were able to sit down, like you said, you had a conversation. Some of them have amazing stories. I've been able to talk to someone over the years. I'm like, wow, this person used to be a CEO or used to be, this and that.
Anything.
Yeah.
Even a mailman.
Oh
But
my
I mean,
God.
they have experiences in life that we could learn from, for sure.
And then you kind of ask what happened, if you don't mind sharing. Some don't want to talk about it, but that's fine. If you want to just, hey, let me just do what I can to help you right now.
Yeah.
And some will just say, listen, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is what my life has gone through. And somehow it's done two things. It's helped you now to realize, wow, I can look at that person and appreciate them as a person more, because they had what we would call a life, a normal life, right? So sad to say that, but that's, we think these weird things, right? But at least we can say now, we're not going to disrespect them now. We can say, you know what? Like you just said, you had a bad time in your life right now, but hopefully we can help you get back on your feet and do great things again.
Right.
But it's just so sad to hear the multiple stories, and the journeys that people have been on.
But I mean, that's life, right? Like,
exactly,
we all go through it in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't feel sorry for people. If somebody's dying of a terminal disease, I feel bad.
Yeah.
But they don't want our pity, right? But
no, because that's not going to do anything.
The concept is we all have different challenges. Understanding that, and I just think being a good person, as simple as I might sound, be a good person.
Yeah.
Life will be better for you. You'll get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And you'll bring enjoyment into other people. Like, what more is more important than that? Right?
I don't know. And I have to say this part too, which is, hi, Mom. She said this to me a long time ago. And I've been taking this statement to heart. And I didn't realize it until I actually started to realize it. My mom used to always tell me, and still does, that my greatest resource is people. And I was like, okay, but I don't know what that means. But of course, over time, I get it. Because I'm in the public I work in the public services. I also work with young people in multiple different things. I'm in the school board. I do many things where I have to deal with kids and youth and their families, young families, single homes, or low-income houses, or families that are new to the country. And I do a lot of community services like that. So I deal with people all the time. So over the years, I've grown to, of course, I always treat people with great respect, because that's how it is. That's what we need to do, right? But I don't necessarily realize all the time, most of the time, how much what God has put me to pour out to other people, and the connections and the relationships I build, and the information and whatever guidance I'm able to pour into them through sports, education, music, whatever it is. I don't realize until later on in life, or when they sit and tell me, or when things come back full circle, and I get it. So again, just being nice to people, working with people, knowing who they are, respecting who they are, and not to look down on anybody. That's just a bad thing that some people do in society that we have to change. Because we just have to learn to respect everybody, be nice to people, and understand that what if the roles were reversed? What would you do? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's why it's easy for me, right? Like, I've lived both sides. Most of the people I know that have money haven't, or haven't witnessed it, or haven't experienced it. So it's not an excuse.
No.
Right? Because people's eyes should be open to the truth, like what really happens in the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you've experienced both, you don't have no money to eat, and now you have money to eat, you better be a decent person.
Yeah,
because you know that could be taken away from you at any time. Yeah. And you know what? COVID has done this a lot, because look how many businesses have gone bankrupt.
And everything's a plain, level field.
So, I mean, there are a lot of people that had money a year ago that their savings are gone and they're deep in debt.
Yep.
Are they still going to be decent people, right? Or are they going to be, this is the test. This is the pivot. This is what we're living through today.
Oh, that good test.
But I promise you this. If I was back at the little one-bedroom apartment I couldn't afford rent, I'm still the same person.
You'll still
I'm not
find-
going to change.
Right. I was going to say you'll
Yeah.
still find a way to be living life and be happy.
Be happy.
and make everything work because that's who you are.
See, once again, like, when I was broke, people would ask me like, what is success to you? Right.
Okay.
And when I was broke, it's like, well, have a nice house, have nice cars, and be able to travel a couple times a year and buy what I want. That was success to me
Okay.
then. Now, what is success? It's happiness. You know what I mean? Like having time with your family.
That's
Right?
priceless right there. Yeah.
And the older you get, I don't know if it's like some midlife crisis. When you hit 40, it's like you know that your time is somewhat limited. Now it's time to have fun. The little things, like I could sit and watch my daughter play at the park and just watch and be like so happy, just like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Maybe when I was 28 and starting the business, it was like I wanted to be at work because I needed to do step 1, 2, 3 in order to see success. So I mean, success is happiness to me. It really is.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. Real quickly,
Sure.
your other business partner, your co-founder of A Nerd's World, shouts out to him as well. I want to make sure.
No, not him.
Him? Oh, sorry.
My wife.
You see, I got that
I
wrong.
don't have any other business partner.
Okay, so
I'm married
the
to my
wife-
business partner.
The wife is the business partner, so we know who's the boss, right?
Yeah, definitely. No question.
Okay, so Chris, I want to talk about let's talk about some specific things that you do with your amazing YouTube channel. Man, I watch it a lot of time, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
Let's talk about one of the greatest things that you are passionate about within A Nerd's World is SEO. Let's talk about what is SEO for those who don't know what it is and the passion you have about it and just like the journey of what is so important about SEO and things that you offer with A Nerd's World regarding SEO and so on.
So first and foremost, we're a web development company. Okay, so anybody can come to us and buy a website.
Great.
We do websites for like small little companies to Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
So like recently we launched Toyota's website.
Wow.
Like their official website. We've done like
Congratulations.
Wu-Tang Clan's website.
Ooh, the woo.
We launched a hotel website today. So I mean, it's everywhere and it's scattered. It's everyone everywhere.
I like that.
Building a website is like the first step in building an online presence in a business. Second is SEO. So once you built that website, generating traffic to the website. So SEO is search engine optimization. And my passion for it is like going back to like problem solution. Problem, like people have a new website, but they have no traffic to their website. What's the solution? So I started studying SEO about 15, 16 years ago, and it's become an addiction. It's like, once again, it's like optimizing your website. So doing certain things to your website in order for Google to be attracted to it.
Okay.
Because what most people don't realize, like every website in the world has a score. It's called an authority score.
Authority score.
And it's built through various algorithm that we don't know. Google's never going to tell you this is the secret algorithm because that's what makes Google Google.
Okay.
So what our job is as SEO is to try to figure out what the algorithm is.
Yeah.
So through testing various things, we find out what works best and what gets a company ranked.
Interesting.
Right? Because like if a website that produces this cranberry juice wants to generate traffic to the website that sells the cranberry juice, they got to figure out what words people are typing in Google to look for that product.
Okay.
So my job is to find out what people are Googling statistically and then coming up with a strategy in order for the client that's looking for the product or service to find the website and buy.
And those would be like those, what they consider as keywords, is that correct?
Keywords, yeah.
Yep.
That's like keywords, creating content around whatever the product or service is. Yeah. So I mean, it's weird because SEO is like so big.
Yeah.
It really means so many different things to so many people.
Okay.
But the basics are getting real traffic to your website. And like that's what makes a company successful.
Okay.
Because you can have a wildly successful company that's not doing SEO that could be so much better if it was doing SEO.
Wow.
Because a lot of people are under this misunderstanding that, well, the company's already successful. They don't need more traffic. Like, who doesn't need more eyes on their product or brand or whatever? If you think Nike's not putting money into SEO, they're putting millions and millions of dollars into SEO. So, I mean, there's nobody on the planet that doesn't want more website traffic, right? So
that does make sense, right? It's funny how some people think, like you just said, they got to a certain level and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, I made it, I'm good. No, but you want to stay up there, right?
But successful people look for ways to become more successful, right? Other people are complacent with like, well, I made X amount and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we're not looking to work with those people. People ask me, how do you sell SEO? And I don't really have to sell it. Because the people that are hiring me
Yeah.
already know how important it is.
Okay.
It's not me telling them like you need to do SEO. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you know SEO is important.
Yeah.
Let me help you get there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how it
That's
works.
cool. I like that though, because like, you know, those who know
Yeah.
will seek out
And they'll
the help.
appreciate it because
Right.
at the point that we're at in our career, we're not into begging people to give us a chance.
Yeah.
We're not like, if you don't want to work on SEO,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough people that want to work on SEO, right? There's no like please or none of this. It's like, you know what we offer and we're willing to offer it if you're ready, right?
I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to be like,
Yeah, we're busy every day
Yeah.
of the week. I'll tell you a funny story if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead.
I'm going to keep it to 1 minute. When I was a
okay.
child, right, growing up with my father, we never, I don't know, I didn't enjoy his presence. He was
Okay.
a negative type person. We're not talking anymore anyway. So, but when we were
Wow.
kids, it's like I loved hockey, and the Calgary Flames were my favorite team.
Okay.
So every year for Christmas, I would get 2 tickets, one for him, one for me, to go to the Calgary Flames game. So once a
Okay.
year. That was our bonding time.
yeah.
So to go into the full circle, on Saturday, I got an email, and I recognized the email
Yeah.
as somebody that was on the Calgary Flames when I was a kid.
Oh.
So on the NHL team, right?
Okay.
So I jumped on the phone. I called him. I'm like, normally I don't work on Saturday because my only responsibility at the Nerds World now is making the sales. I don't
Nice.
actually do the day-to-day work. I make the sale.
All right.
So I called him like, look, let me start off by saying I was at every game when you came into Toronto, and I was a huge fan. And he's like, Chris, well, he said something along the line like the circle of life. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I watch all your SEO videos on YouTube.
What?
And I'm a fan. And I'm like,
What?
okay, let's get down to business. Like, what questions do you have? And he's like, my only question is like, how fast can you send me an invoice? You know, we're ready to get started. So, I mean, the exciting
Wow.
part about this first SEO
Yeah.
is like, it's still new to the world.
Okay.
The second part about having a YouTube channel is like, you can have a global audience
yes.
that learns from you.
Yeah.
And, you know, on my YouTube channel, I'm not selling anything.
You know.
It's just like I'm giving away free information, but it does equal into people following you,
Yeah.
people learning from you, and it also equals into some customers I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't have it.
That's
right?
a beautiful thing.
And doing it, like educating others, is so much fun. It's like
Yeah.
people ask, why are you telling people what you do? They're going to do it. And I'm like, no, I can give you a pen and a paper, or you can give me a set of drums or a basketball. I'm not going to do what you, just because you're giving me the tools doesn't mean you have the same work ethic or ability or, you know, just overall craziness to do it. So, yeah, maybe I was long-winded with my
No,
story, but I had to
it's-
share it with somebody, right?
That's what's needed.
Yeah.
That's part of what we do. I love it.
Yeah.
Long-winded sometimes.
Now I got to send my dad an email. We're not talking, and I'll tell him like this is what happened.
That's good. I like that though.
Yeah.
What's the chances though?
Yeah, I know.
That's
Crazy.
amazing.
Yeah,
You remember the name?
yeah.
Who is it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't want to.
No,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Because I,
Of course, I remember the name. I was a huge fan.
because I remember. Okay, who would I
That's the thing with
remember?
SEO. It's very secretive because
Okay,
the
okay.
people that sign up for SEO, they don't
Yeah.
want people to know that you're. It's like if you go to a psychologist,
Yeah.
right? The psychologist is not going to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I help Johnny and Billy." It's like a very
Yeah.
secretive world.
The client.
Well, the
and
camera's not recording. Obviously,
doctor.
not that it's a big deal that he's going to see it, but
That's all good.
you see, I still get exciting. Like
Yeah.
I still get excited
Yeah. Why not?
about
That's
business.
beautiful.
Why not?
That's beautiful. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
A real excitement about this stuff. This is what makes the show so special.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This is good, man. So what is next, though? I obviously know that they have made us pivot. Or should I say we've chosen to
Yep.
pivot, because a lot of people are not choosing or they don't know how to. But with all the great moves and changes you've made with the industry and the business and how you do things now, and what you see and foresee going in the future, what do you see as maybe what's to come with how A Nerd's World works now? Would that be more of like those courses you're offering more,
No,
or is it like other things?
the core business remains exactly the same.
Okay.
Only difference for us is we don't have retail stores for people to enter.
Okay.
Because of lockdown, right? So I mean, our pivot will go from the 4 stores to remote. So instead of customers being able to walk in, it's
Nice.
Zoom calls, right?
Okay.
That's our business period. From my standpoint, I decided to start teaching others how to do the business with my first course, right? I never wanted to be that. I felt like I'm somewhat of a sellout for trying to sell, because I've always given the information for free. But people would always ask me, like, Chris, well, like, you sporadically put up a video about this and that on YouTube, but there's not really any rhyme or reason. There's no like step by step. We want like a step by step on exactly what we should do or what we can do. So I put together this course last month and sold a membership to it. So the idea is like, you're signing up not just for a course, you're signing up to become like not a partner, because you're not, but I mean, like, it's like a membership into an exclusive club, right? Where it's like, you watch the videos. In the videos, there's homework. Like I'm telling you, this is your objective.
That's cool.
Now, though, I'm not checking your homework. It's your responsibility to do the work at your own pace. But at the end of every video, it's like there's an objective. This is what you need to complete before you go to the next course. And with that, there's a Facebook group that's exclusive to members, we'll call them.
Okay.
In which, if you have problems along the way, you can leave a message. I respond there, because I'm sure any question that you have, other people will have as well. So at least I don't have to answer the same type of question.
I like that.
And a lot of people are embarrassed. They're like me in class. If I didn't know something, I'm not raising my hand, because I don't want to look like that guy that has a simple question, right? So I mean, like, I don't know what you just said. Can you tell me again? So I mean, the idea is like, and it encourages you. Like right now, I think I'm at almost 500 students within a month.
Amazing.
And
wow.
they all feed off each other, because when they're leaving comments like, oh, it's going really well for me, it's like motivation for other people to be like, hey, if Johnny's doing it, well, I got to do it too, right? So the idea is that we're all sort of in a group. It's going to grow, like the membership is going to grow, more people, and I'm going to put more video content up. But I mean, for me, it's an eye-opener as to passive income, because for the first time in my life, when I'm sleeping, I'm making money.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
No, but you know what? Like, on paper, it sounds incredible.
It does.
Right?
It's still beautiful.
Because business is good already. But I mean, when you have passive income coming in, it's like what people dream about.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that Cash for Life, where they say, oh, you win $1,000 a week for
a week,
right?
Yeah.
The course has been incredible for me, right? You can do the math. It's only been 3 weeks. I have 500 members. So it's been incredible.
That's beautiful.
And it's opened my eyes to something, like this whole concept, because if we had the 4 retail stores, I wouldn't have time to do that.
That's true.
I would have been locked in. I jumped from one store to the next working. So I mean, being here, I told my wife, like, let me challenge myself to something new. So right now I'm working on my second course already, and the course is going to be like how to start a web development company.
Great.
Right?
Wow.
So the idea is that, first, I love teaching people. Second, hey, with that money I can make, I can go help other people. I can have fun too.
Of course.
I'm not doing this because I'm God's gift and saint, and I like helping people. I love my kids to have a good life. And there's certain things I want to do in this life that require money. So I mean, all of those things combined are a good motivation for me.
Then why not?
Yeah.
Totally, why not? You know what I like about what you're doing with the course? This is actually quoting what you said on one of your YouTube videos regarding to that question when people say to you, oh, why are you teaching everybody your secrets? Why are you showing them stuff? And that wonderful analogy you mentioned, like, it's like, take a book, for example, like a novel, right? The chapters and everything, a long book, whatever. And you take that book and you take all the pages out and you throw them all up in the air, and then it's all spread all over the place. And then someone picks up one page and they read it. They can read that. They might be able to figure out, maybe there's 1 or 2 characters I was able to be introduced to, or maybe I understand where they are, but you don't know the story from point A to, all right through the whole story. You have to have the whole book to read through everything, to understand and learn everything. And that was what the course is going to be providing. So this is why it's cool and really, really great for those to register, to get everything. from these courses and learn and always have a resource, you know, to come back to speak to Chris about. And as you were mentioning that in the course, like you get everything, and of course the YouTube channel, of course, give you snippets of stuff to lead you towards a course. But what I like also that you also offer is that, if I'm not correct me if I'm wrong, is that when they have the course, they're able to go back and forth to the course at any time. Yeah,
it's like a lifetime membership. So they have a secret login, right? Because I'm the type of person that needs to watch a video 18 times to really get and grasp everything. And I'm a big believer in learning through doing. So I like to watch the video, then do it. Then return to the video and be like, in the videos on YouTube, I have a lot of small talk. I throw jokes in. Whereas the course is on point. There's no,
it's all business.
There's some videos that are only 3 minutes long or 2 minutes long where this is what we're doing today. Let me show you how to do it.
Get right to the point.
And I think the biggest thing is this, I'm a strong believer in, to be a good teacher, you have to be a good doer, right? So I mean, building a business from nothing, right, to last year we did over 5 million in sales, right? And I don't say that because I'm bragging. I'm saying that because we built a business from nothing to being self-made millionaires over and over again. Every year is better than the year before. So I don't care if anybody buys my course. That means nothing to me. What I'm saying is when I was younger, I just wish there was somebody I could turn to and be like, hey, I have a problem. What should I do? And not to say that somebody has to give you that answer, but there are people that are they're stuck at a certain point where it's actually a really simple solution, but they're overthinking it. What should I do next? Or what should I do? And if they had somebody to turn to that they know has gone through that, right, that might help them propel in a proper direction, right? So, I mean, the reason I take such pride in YouTube, my following, I have about 25,000 people follow me.
Nice. Wow.
I'd say 23,000 of them are in a point I was in 10 years ago. And they look at me as being that's the guy that's proven to have done it. You know, if I follow even a percentage of what he's saying, there's an opportunity for me to be successful. And everybody has problems because they're all over the world.
Of course.
But those messages I get, one guy sent me a picture of him, a baby that they just had. And just said, Chris, I want you to know that my baby has a better future because I've been listening to what you said, and my web development business has grown exponentially because you're a real person. Because in my YouTube video, I'm not selling you nothing. I'm not telling you well, you got to sign up to this and that. If nobody signs up, I don't care. Right? Everything the free information is just genuinely free. But knowing that I went from nothing to working my ass off, probably too hard, no sleeping. You know, let me tell you something. One of the most important whole things in this is having the right woman for me, right? Having the right wife, because any other woman would have,
shouts out to the wife.
would have held me back. You know, I would tell my wife, honey, I'm going to sleep at the store for the next week. I'm going to bring a little bag because we don't have enough sales to pay for our rent unless I sell more. So even if you went by my retail store when we had one, I would stay open till 2 a.m. selling websites. My lights would be on, the doors would be open. And let me tell you something, people would drive by. They might not come in, but believe me, when they drive by and see me there every night, it's in the back of their mind that no one's going to work harder than this guy.
I like that.
Because my claim to fame is work ethic. I was never the best at anything. I'm actually really bad at most stuff. But work ethic in trying to always better myself, because I'm not afraid to tell you I'm not good at something, right? But the whole concept is you got to get better. You know, just saying you're not good at something and then letting it go is work ethic, man. Just work harder than anybody else. And that anybody can be successful. Literally, I know it's corny and everybody says it, but I mean,
it's true.
Work harder than your competition, longer, you'll be successful.
Straight up.
It's just as simple as that. And learn, and don't be stagnant. If something's not working for you, okay, it's okay to stop it and do something else.
It's definitely okay.
Not everyone's meant to be a drummer. Not everyone's meant to be a web development company. But I mean, just work harder and know when to pivot. That's sort of how you can build a successful future.
I love that.
Right.
I really hope you all hearing that. That's real nuggets of total truth.
Right.
Because you know, one of the lines I was coaching, I'm coaching the kids, and I'm it's exactly the same thing you said. I may just change one word or two. I'm saying you know, guarantee on the court. You don't have to be the greatest shooter. You don't have to be the tallest player. You don't have to be the biggest one, the most aggressive, all that stuff that people, the typical things on the court or on the field, to be strongest, the hardest hitter, the best kicker. Not, it doesn't have to be that. But if you can be the person that you said that can outwork somebody. I always tell my players, be the person to tell yourself that whoever's on the other side of the field, on the other side of the court, you are not going to outwork me. Like whoever, if you're guarding that one person, you let that person realize, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many points you score on a regular basis. I don't care. Tonight, you are not going to outwork me.
But I mean, being on a team sport, right? There is always those certain players that you could depend on for everything.
Yeah.
You want to be on at the same time as them because you know they're going to risk it all. They're not going to stop.
Yeah.
And those are the players to me that I wanted to emulate because, like, I was into sports as a child and I was never the best. But I guarantee no one's going to come. I'm not going to come back to the dressing room dry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be cuts here, sweaty and all, because I'm going to work the hardest.
That's it.
Right? And it's funny because I think that a lot, like growing up in sports, helped me with the work ethic.
Yeah.
Like I was a wrestler. I went from hockey to wrestling.
Oh, cool.
Right? So I was wrestling at a fairly high point. Right? I won the Ontario a few times.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad, going back to this again, he came out to one match. He never came out. And what's the chances that he came out and I dislocate my knee?
Oh.
So my knee is completely bent back, and the referee gives you like 2 minutes and says, look, if you want to finish this match, I'm already leading by points. You need to stand up for the next 45 seconds with the leg. Or we put you in the ambulance and go twist your leg back. So I looked up at my dad, and my dad's got like this disgust. He walked over to me. I promise you, I still remember these words. He's like, how do you let that man do that to you? That man or that boy? How do you
What?
And then I'm like, put my leg back. They taped it, and all I had to do was kneel on the other leg and defend against this guy to finish, and I ended up winning.
What?
But the whole thing comes to work ethic. Like when you're in that pain, do you learn from it? And I'm not saying what my dad said was right, but I'm saying that's what's in my mindset. Hey, rent is due. I can't afford to keep the lights on. I better work harder than my competition. I can't go home at 9 and go play with my kids when my future is right in front of me, right? So work hard. I had a sleeping bag behind my cash register that I would sleep, right? Because if I went home, it's going to take me an hour to get home, an hour to get back. I need to shower again in the morning. It takes away too much time that I could be, right? Hustling. I could be working. And hustling is like a good thing to me. It's you're struggling, hustle a little harder, work a little harder. So work ethic. I'm still on the wrestling story, man. I'm thinking about just oh my goodness, I can still see it today. And you know what? My wrestling coach is still my good friend. He was here.
That's cool.
My wrestling coach, so this is like 20 years ago. Was here within the last month. And he still remembers me out of all the wrestlers. Like, we're still good friends. He still tells me and shares these stories with me and says how proud he is. And we're still friends today.
I think it's a work ethic. I can remember all the ball players I worked with, and based on their work ethic, they'll never be forgotten. Never. Like, whether it was good or bad.
But he'll tell me, it's like, Chris, he'll tell me straightforward, like, you weren't the best wrestler. But nobody would show up earlier at practice, after practice. And he's like, Chris, I knew that you would do something. And I know if it's easy to say that to people, but he's like, Chris, genuinely, like, I look at you like a son. And that was my wrestling coach that long ago.
That's
it's a pretty neat relationship I still have today. So.
Yeah, man.
It sort of ties into sports. Like, you can build relationships that you don't realize how important they are until later on in life.
Exactly. Shouts out to all the good coaches out there. I love that.
I agree.
Man, that's a beautiful story. And you take all that and you'll take it into real life. You can't fail. You can't fail.
And if you do, you just pick yourself up and do it again. Yep.
Because it's what's to say? Not every L is a loss. Right. It's a learning experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
But not every failure is a failure. Like, stuff just happens. In life, it happens. Pick yourself up and keep going.
Pick it up. Dust yourself off and keep it moving. I love it, man. So, go back to a little bit of traveling.
Sure.
What would be your next location or next country you go to? Like, if I was to say, boom, you're going to fly today. Where would you go?
I don't even know. I don't pre-plan. Like, my biggest plan, I'll tell you, they come to me in dreams. Like, I'll watch a documentary tonight.
Yeah.
If there was no COVID travel restrictions, it's happened so many times. I'll watch a documentary and then I'll tell my wife, love, there's a flight at 5 in the morning. I got to go tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Like Madagascar, she bought me that elephant bird egg
Yes.
for our anniversary, right? I told her the next day, I touched it.
Yeah.
I said, love, I need to go to that beach where that egg was from tomorrow.
I love it.
Literally. I buy one-way tickets, right? I just go.
I love it. We're probably going to show some like B-rolls and stuff, you know. And we could probably talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
For sure.
In this beautiful, beautiful penthouse suite here, Chris has an amazing collection of things around the world that you would not believe. And it's beautiful. And I want all you, when we get to show you some of these amazing things, please don't get the wrong idea, okay? Yeah. These are actual, you know, real collectible things. And, you know, let's do a quick explanation about it. Remember, we talked about this, those people might say something. Yeah. So what would you say there?
I have a few dead animals in my house, maybe a dozen. None of them have been killed by myself. I'm not a promoter of exotic hunting or anything along those lines. I've never shot an animal in my life. We do donate money to zoos. For example, like I was in Uganda 6 months ago.
Wow.
So when I go, I meet with the person that runs the zoo, right? Okay. And I say, look, your zoo unfortunately is going through difficult times. If you have any exotic animals that die of natural causes, I'm willing to donate money for the body of the animal. It sounds morbid, right? But as a collector, I like having the animals here. My kids can learn a lot from it. Other people can. But I'm not willing to kill the animal for me to put a statue in my house. So, I mean...
You hear that?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so please don't come in the comments and start saying stuff.
Would still rather the animal disintegrate into the ground somewhere than me to have it in my house. Yeah. Everybody can have their own opinion. But
of course.
I do have taxidermy in my house.
Yeah, see? You're allowed to do that. You know what I mean? It's actually... I like that better, how you have them, than some people, like you just said, they actually go searching for these exotic animals, and they would either have them in confinement in like the worst conditions for their habitation and stuff like that, and it's the horrible situation for them. Or like, you know, they just totally murder them and just like for sport and just like, hey, look what I have on my wall.
I don't think it makes you a bigger person to kill an animal.
There you go.
No, I couldn't shoot a squirrel. I'd break down and cry. So no, I can't do it.
No, I'd be so sad. I get so scared when they're running across the street and someone's driving like, like, don't hit the squirrel.
You and me both.
Yeah, man. So with these amazing animals here, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take some shots about. You'll see them and everyone will be able to enjoy those as well. What would be, you actually mentioned it, would that be the egg? Would that be the most I guess most exotic, would that be the right word? Or most rare, the egg? Would that be the...
It would be one of them for sure. Yeah. Okay. You know, there's very few on planet Earth whenever you have something that there's only a very few of. So, the elephant bird egg is one of my top artifacts for sure. It's like once you start making money, right? After a certain point, you're like, what else can I buy? You know what I mean? It's almost like Michael Jackson was that guy that wanted an elephant bird egg, right? So it's like we started putting a collection together. What my wife and I call it is lifetime pieces. So we don't buy anything in the house that's going to be a throwaway. That's going to last 2 or 3 years. We're going to get bored of. Okay. So instead, we have dealers around the world that send us photos of rare things when they get them. And when I'm on those travels around the world, I'm always looking for those rare things. I don't want souvenirs. I don't want plastic or
like
that kind of stuff.
A shot glass.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want stuff that I'm going to keep forever, and hopefully my children will keep, and their children will keep. So it's becoming harder to find like really rare pieces. But I mean, the hunt itself is a lot of the fun, right? So I mean, as we get bigger home, we can get bigger things. Like my dealer has full dinosaurs, like a full dinosaur.
What?
I guess we could put something here, but I don't know how we would get it up the stairs.
Oh my God.
We'd have to get a crane 50 stories outside. But I mean, it's just a hobby once again. It's like, it's nothing much more to me. It's like, it's just looking for rare items to add to the collection.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's like, you know,
it's a why once again. It's just like everybody has a reason.
Yeah, man. And I like it. It's very, very cool and educational too. Like you were saying, it's something that the kids can see and you can show them stuff and they can go in the history of the animals and their life, and you know, It's such an awesome thing to have.
Culture, history, because like I
Yes.
have pieces 5,000 years old. Like
That
who
too.
has that in their house, right? So I still get into there's every night before bed.
Yeah.
It sounds weird. I'll like touch the Egyptian mummy mask and like hold it and be like, this
Yeah.
is incredible. Because like, where can you touch this?
Nowhere.
Where can you go? And like the history
like
of this,
it's like
right?
you can't go close to things in the museums and stuff. So that's.
But
a
I mean,
beautiful
owning it is like,
thing. Yeah.
and you know, everything we own is temporary, right? Like
Yeah.
to a certain point,
Yeah.
it's eventually going to go into someone else's hands.
Yeah.
So I just feel like very honored to have the
Cherish it.
opportunity to have it for a certain period of time.
I love it, man. Oh man.
I'm glad. I appreciate
yes,
that.
trust me. We've been walking around enjoying it, so I really hope you all get to see these photos and appreciate them as well. And because this is like, you know, just a beautiful thing and great for people to see, you know, like, you know, these are things you can attest to and or build up to, like set goals and say,
Yeah.
hey, I would like to aspire to be something bigger and greater, and I can also do these things, and being inspired by Chris as well.
And eliminate time from the equation.
Ah.
Like literally don't try to, the biggest problem and what stops a lot of people is like,
Yeah.
I need to achieve this in 1 year. You know, like people will tell me, Chris, you're lucky. You're traveling the world. You have fancy cars. You have a nice house. And are you ready to dedicate the next 21 years of your life? You know, get the bags under your eyes, the gray hair.
Yeah.
Are you willing to dedicate that time?
Yeah.
And the answer is, no matter what they say, the answer is no.
gonna
And
be
the
no.
reason I'm here
Yeah.
and they're not is for that reason.
Yep.
Right?
Message.
That's the straightforward. People want it, but they don't really want it. They don't want to. They don't want it enough that they're going to lose sleep
No.
or miss a birthday party.
No.
You know what I mean? Going back to having a perfect wife. If she wasn't perfect, I would have been divorced a long time ago, right? Or she would have held me from my dream.
Yeah.
She would have been like, "You can't sleep
Yeah.
at work."
Yeah.
So I mean, having that good, positive person that even in bad times,
Yeah.
when rent is due and you have no future and you don't see past the immediate problem,
Yeah.
having that person I could come home to and like literally cry in her arms and be like, baby, I know you trusted me, but I'm not 100% sure that we're going the right route.
Yeah.
You know, and her to hug me and be like, no, I trust you.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, let me get my new set of clothes. I got to go back to sleep at the store.
Wow.
Right? I got to work. And she's like, I'll be here when you come back. Right? So, I mean, having that.
That's
And it
beautiful.
doesn't always have to be a wife or a husband. It could be a father
Yeah.
or a mother. It could be a
Yeah.
best friend that you can turn to.
your children.
And it could be anything.
Yeah.
But having somebody that you can turn to just to get that little bit of support,
Of course.
I think it's hugely important. And I mean, through the YouTube channel, as crazy as it might sound,
Yeah.
people sometimes tell me that I'm that person. Like they have a
Wow.
bad day and they need that motivation. They'll send me a DM on Instagram like,
That's
Chris,
beautiful.
this is what I'm going through. And, you know, I'll take the time to send them a voice back and be like, look, it's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Work through it.
Well, that's cool.
And then, you know, so I mean, all of these things combined together with a crazy work ethic and a passion for like happiness.
Yeah.
Man, I just given you the algorithm for
Oh
happiness.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on the shirt. I love that. So beautiful, man. Chris, you're such, again, I can't say it enough, such an inspiration.
I appreciate it.
And like I said to myself, as many things, you know, you know, it's good to say it to people, right to their face, you know,
Yeah.
like what's going on. Like I said, like I'm also an entrepreneur. You know, from my grade school, been doing my court vision athletics forever, working with these kids and stuff. And it's always great to be in the same room with greatness, and rubbing shoulders and talking and learning and getting best practices and failures and understanding that those are things that can be listened to and used as stepping stones to get to the best practice, and just, you know, taking things and using them to become better. And you can't necessarily do that with people who have not experienced anything, who don't wish the best for you. You know, you get like we
It
talked
happens,
about.
though.
Yeah,
It happens. I call them dream killers.
Ah.
You want to avoid the dream killers.
Oh, yeah.
People that are not going to clap when you're up and down,
Yeah.
avoid them.
Completely.
Avoid them.
Because
Because there are a lot of people that never get to see their ultimate potential
Yeah.
because they had somebody around them that told them, no,
Yep.
don't do it. You're
Yep.
not good enough. You're
Yep.
not fast enough. You're not smart
Yep.
enough.
All that.
Find a way.
Yep.
Right?
Heard it all.
You don't need money. Like to start a business, to be an entrepreneur, you don't need money.
No.
It's not like you have to get a loan or you have to. Nobody has to believe in you.
No.
You got to believe in yourself.
Yep.
And along the way, just keep moving forward, like one step at a time.
I love that. I love that. That's a great way to end the show, man. This is such a good thing. I know we can definitely keep this going and talk for hours. I know we can, but we want to let's kind of end the show a little bit, and we'll definitely probably do this again another time, and probably and bring in the boss.
Yeah,
and, we could have
she's
a conversation.
still upstairs at work.
Yeah, see, that's part of the working hard, right? Do you want it hard enough and bad enough, right? So, Chris, again, thank you so much for your time, your valuable time, and just being able to be a part of this and to help us out. And again, saying thank you again to being part of our reason to even having the Orange Mic in the beginning stages and having us, continue right now, because that helped us set goals and to build the brand and become something. And we are aspire to be something great. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. I'm honored. Thank you for the opportunity.
Man. All because of you, man.
I appreciate it.
Chris, thank you again. Everyone, please make sure that you check out all the information we have that is going to be in the description. You need to make sure that you check out Chris on his YouTube channel. Watch all those programs and that he has teaching you about how to develop your website, your brand in many ways, understanding the process of SEO, and being able to sign up also, register for those courses that you will be seeing that will be offered down the road. And you will be able to become successful if you can apply yourself and to build your brand in this way. But again, like we talked about, how bad do you want it? How hard are you going to work for it? It's not going to be easy. It's not. But if you set those goals and work hard for it and sacrifice, trust me, everything is possible. Everything. Get that positive energy. So again, please stay tuned for all the information in the description and for our future shows as well. And don't forget, of course, our other brand, of course, called the Orange Mic Live. There's conversations on the Orange Mic like we just had, and of course the Orange Mic Live with our live music performances, and you get to see artists do their thing. So please, until next time, everybody, stay positive, and remember, we want to see you on the Orange Mic. Until next time, take care.